Here's how you can put a squatter in jail. I know how you feel. Somebody is squatting in your property. You called the police and they told you that it's a civil dispute and you have to go to court to get that squatter out of your property. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do so you can put them in jail. And I'm also going to tell you what you can do to prevent a squatter getting into your property if, let's say, you just inherited the property and you live out of state, or you have a long lost property that you're not able to take care of daily. Here's what you need to do to prevent a squatter from getting into that property. The first thing you need to do is board up that property from the inside. You can do this for under $1,500, and it's going to be cheaper than doing a formal eviction. That's the first thing you can do. The second thing you need to do is get lights on a timer so that in the evening, the lights turn on so that it seems like somebody lives in there. Another thing you can do is ask the neighbors to park their car there if they're willing to help you. And the fourth thing you need to do along those same lines, if you have a friendly neighbor, tell them that house is vacant so they can be a lookout for you. A lot of times in my experience, when we're dealing with squatters, is they are professional squatters. Matter of fact, we had this situation where a squatter basically got a free property, and here's how she did it. So the property was owned by a small mortgage company, and that mortgage company was bought out by a large mortgage company. That happens all the time. Now, because their books weren't done correctly, for some reason, this property was left off the books. So when we called the small mortgage company, they thought that it was sold to the big mortgage company. They couldn't find record of that property. So now there's a mortgage on that property, but nobody's going after to collect the mortgage payments. Now, the squatter took advantage of the situation and simply took over the property and actually filed documents in the county for adverse possession. We tried to speak to her and she was very smart. She knew what she was doing. Now, how to throw a squatter in jail. You've probably already called the cops and they told you something like this is a civil dispute and you have to go to court. And that is correct. You will have to go to court and you will have to go through a formal eviction process. Now, in order to go through a formal eviction process, I recommend hiring an attorney to get rid of those squatters. The reason I recommend hiring an attorney is because they're going to know the law a little bit better than hiring an eviction specialist. Oftentimes, this is what I've seen in my experience, people that have eviction specialist jobs. They might be a realtor that does this on the side. They might be a paralegal that knows the law and they do it on the side, but an attorney is going to be more thorough. I've learned this the hard way. We've gone through an eviction specialist and we almost lost the case just because she forgot to do certain things. So I highly recommend hiring an attorney or hiring a company and not just an independent person. That's just been my experience. Now, how to put a squatter in jail. It's going to be very difficult to get that squatter in jail. And the way to do it is if the squatter has broken the law. So the types of things that a squatter can do to break the law is creating fake leases, is damaging your property. Those are all criminal activities and you will have to prove it in court. So that's the way to get the squatter in jail. But your main objective should be simply to get the squatter out of your house so that you can inhabit again or simply sell it. Now, if you're dealing with a squatter right now in your property and you don't have the money to file an eviction, I don't want you to do something drastic like show up with a gun or try to scare them out of the property, because then you can end up in jail for breaking the law. What you can do instead is you can partner with an investor and let them evict the squatter for you. And in turn, they can buy the property and take it off your hands. Or you can sell it as is with the squatter in the property, but you might not get as much for the property because the investor is essentially taking a risk with that squatter, because a squatter can get upset. And like I said, they can destroy that property. And now the investor has to take that risk. If you need a same-day cash offer, click the link in the bio and we'll give you a same-day cash offer, or at minimum, we'll tell you exactly what you need to do to get rid of that squatter, and we'll tell you exactly what your house is worth.